This is Tim. I'm so disappointed to read in the news. Now I'm a little bit late today because I'm still recovering from surgery. But I'm so disappointed to read in the news about Matt Hancock's efforts to get a job in the UN. This man must be completely bonkers. Here is a man who has demonstrated a level of corruption in public office which would make people in the Russian Duma look rather saintly. I mean, I think of people like Pyotr Tolstoy, the man who looks like a toad. I can think of so many people in the Russian Duma who are abhorrent. Yes, of course they get elected time and time again because they were they were the mistresses of senior government officials, or they ran a race in the Olympics, and they need to be rewarded with a backhander and a position in the Duma. Or what? They've bought Mr. Putin, or they've been given one of Mr. Putin's puppies. I mean, this is madness, and this is the level of corruption that our current government has introduced to politics in the UK, and it is led, it seems, by Mr. Hancock fiddling in the stationery cupboard with Gina Coladangelo. I mean, it's Mrs. I mustn't do too much of that because I'm really not well enough. But it's just extraordinary that here is a man who was running our health service and giving backhanders to his buddies in the pub. It beggars belief. And when we look at the facts, the NHS is now back to being run on about 8% of GDP. That takes it back to the sort of funding levels that it had when Tony Blair came to power. That's back in the late 1990s. We know that the NHS functions quite well on about 12 GDP. So why have we not given it more money? That's what Boris offered on his slogans on the buses. The NHS needs more money. Now, I have just been in the NHS, and I know how desperately it's functioning. Nurses and doctors are working terribly hard, but they're being savaged by bureaucrats, by pen pushers who are paid ridiculously well, and some of them I know. I know some of these people. They were twits when they were at school. They're still twits now. These people are being paid more than the people who are actually doing the work. And the people who are doing the work, the nurses and the doctors, are being forced to pay for their own parking. Or they've got to walk 25 minutes or so to work from where they're parked, and then there's a possibility that their cars are going to be raided or stolen. This is nonsense. And this is the sort of NHS that Matt Hancock was presiding over, and he thinks that he can rehabilitate himself. He thinks that he can get a senior job. This is laughable. Laughable. He's better off locking himself in the stationery cupboard and not being seen again. Now, unlike the people in the Duma, unlike the people in a corrupt political environment, Matt Hancock will lose his seat at the next election. That is inevitable. So rather than running around the place looking for some sort of sinecure in the United Nations, he ought to be looking around the place for a proper job, so that when he loses his job in the next election, he won't be on the street and he won't have to claim universal credit, because we don't want to be supporting a man who has demonstrated that he is unfit for public office. Yes, he might be like a lot of his friends in the party at the moment. He might be behaving in the same way as a lot of his friends, but they equally are unfit for public office. Now, how have we got to this point? How have we got to the point where so many of the people who are who have positions of authority in our parliament are drenched in corruption. I think it's COVID. I think the aura of secrecy that has surrounded COVID has given people license to act with impunity. This isn't a right-left issue. This is about people being held to account. We need to hold power to account. And when we do not hold power to account, it goes bad. We need to hold power to account. That means we need to have a really good and strong opposition. I am counting on Keir Starmer to get government in order. So Keir, it's up to you. Have fun. Do follow my site, whatever it's called, and do ring the bell. Bay, of course, is busy ringing the bell every 5 minutes, but he's looking after me very well. So have fun. Bye-bye.